Welcome to another BlackJack Dave video and moving forward your journey to being a better BlackJack player and an AP player. I am BlackJack Dave and I love to play Blackjack, talk about Blackjack, and sharing the correct way to play Blackjack with others. Today's video will cover Blackjack basics. In this video, you will learn the purpose of Blackjack, why play Blackjack, how to play Blackjack, how do you win, overview of the Blackjack table, value of the cards, and then we'll do a sample hand. So why play the game called Blackjack? Most, if not all, casino games are based on independent trial processes, and therefore cannot be beaten in the long run. However, Blackjack is a game of independent trial processes, which makes it beatable. By the player using certain playing and betting techniques, the odds can swing into the player's favor. So you can win money and have fun. So why not play? So what does all the above mean? Well, basically it means you can win at the game of blackjack, meaning make money, and it means as the game, every time a card is dealt, the remaining type of cards changes, meaning when you first start the game, there are the same number of kings, aces, fives, sixes, twos, threes, seven, eights, and nines. But as the game goes on, the number of those types of cards changes. And you will learn that when the deck remaining has more kings, aces, and tens, it favors the player. And that is when you bet more, and that's why you can have the edge in blackjack. So how do you play blackjack? The goal or to win at blackjack, you want to beat the dealer's hand total. 21 is the maximum key winning total players hope to reach. Any total over 21, you lose or bust out. That is the bad news. The good news, this rule also applies to the dealer. So if a dealer busts, card total over 21, and no player busts, the entire table wins. This is one of the many aspects which makes playing the game a very fun social time. So to recap, you win at blackjack if the total value of your hand exceeds the dealer's total, or by not going over 21 when the dealer goes on to bust. Overview of the blackjack table. What are the minimum and maximum betting limits? Number of decks in the shoe. What the playing rules are. How the cards are shuffled. And the number of players. Minimum and max bet. Why know the min and max betting limits at the table? True, the betting limits aren't going to change your playing strategies, meaning they will not affect if you hit, stand, double, etc. If not familiar with these terms, do not worry, they will be explained at the proper time. However, the reason you should check what the betting limits are before you buy in and make your first bet is to make sure you're not playing at a table which does not fall into your range of bankroll. For example, if your total bankroll is $500 for the session, do you really want to sit at a table where the minimum bet is $100? Another reason is to avoid the embarrassing situation of not betting at least the table minimum. This happens quite common, and it can be a little embarrassing. So, number one rule is to make sure you know what the minimum and maximum bets are. So, how do you find this information out? Generally speaking, there'll be a little stand, as seen in the chart here, on the left or by the discard card tray. It'll clearly state the minimum and the maximum bets allowed. Number of decks in the shoe has an effect on the house edge against the basic strategy player. Generally, the house edge increases as the number of decks increases, but you also need to factor in the mixer rules. Rules of this game will be discussed later. The point here is to know whether the game you are about to play is a single or double deck, or in the case of a multi-deck game, whether it's 4, 6, or 8 decks. This video series will focus on 6 deck shoe games. Why? They are the most common in the game I play. Sometimes the place card will state if it's a single or double deck game, but rarely will it state if it's a 4, 6, or 8 deck game. Usually the cards in a multi-deck game are dealt from a dealing shoe. Uh, Notice the little blue arrow pointing to the shoe. The shoe is generally found on the right side of the table by first base. You might need to ask the dealer if this is a 6 or 8 deck shoe. In general, avoid 8 deck shoes. More details on this later. You'll easily be able to determine if it's a 6 or 8 deck shoe, but just looking at the discard tray. You will learn through this series that it's important to know how many decks of shoe and how many decks have been played. 1 deck, 2 deck, 3 decks, 4 decks. The shoe can be found on the right side of the table. Rules of the game. It's important to know that you. It's important that you know whether the rules on a particular blackjack table require that the dealer stand on soft 17 or must hit soft 17. Whether you can double down on any two initially dealt cards, or if there are restrictions on what hands you can double. Whether the surrender is allowed. Whether resplitting of aces is allowed. And most importantly, what is the payoff for untied blackjack? Is it 3-2, 6-5, or 7-5, or even money? I'll cover the importance of the playing rules in more detail in future videos, but for now, certain playing rules will greatly affect your ability to beat the casino. So let's go over some of the rules of the game that are good rules, meaning good for the player. Blackjack pays 3-2. This was really, really common as shortly as 5 years ago. But more and more casinos are going to 6-5. Never play a 6-5 table. Double down any first 2 cards. That's a pretty common rule, and it's a good rule. Double down any soft hands. Again, most casinos will allow this, and it's a good rule. Double down after pair splitting. That's a good rule, and also most very common. Resplit pairs, also a very common rule. Now, when I say common, I mean for 6 and 8 deck games. A lot of these rules are not common for 2 deck games. That's one reason why I don't like them. Resplit aces, not very common. Normally, if you get a pair of aces, you split those. That'd be good basic strategy, but you only get 1 card. Late surrender. If you don't know what surrender is, that's okay. We'll talk about it, but it's not very common to be allowed. Dealer stand on soft 17. Most casinos will hit. That's not so good for the player. Players allowed to enter a game mid-shoe. That's pretty common. And manual or auto shuffle. That's also a good rule. What are some bad rules then? Well, blackjack pays 6-5. I say run. No double down after a split. It's not a good rule. Double down at 10-11 only. That's very common in 2 deck games. No resplit aces. Again, it's bad rule, but it's common. No surrender. Bad rule for the player, but again, it's common. No mid-shoe entry. You'll find out why that's not such a great rule. And use of continuous shuffle machines to shuffle cards. They're not very common in the U.S. There's basically 3 ways a casino will shuffle. They'll use automatic blackjack shufflers. They've been around for a long time. Basically, while one set of cards is being used by a dealer, the other set is being shuffled offline by the automatic shuffler. When the cut card appears, the round is completed, and then the dealer will swap the cards, meaning the just used multi-decks will be placed in the automatic shuffler to be shuffled. That's not bad. That's okay. The other way is they do it by hand. I play at one casino. I play at 2 casinos for 80% of my play. One casino is automatic shuffling. Other one is manual. What you want to stay away from is a machine that looks like in the screen. Continuous shuffle machines. This is where when the hand is dealt, cards go back in the machine are reshuffled. Very bad for card counters and really gives the edge to the casinos. The only place I've seen these are on cruise ships, but I hear they're also popular in Europe. Three of the cards in blackjack. An ace can be a 1 or 11. You always assume it's an 11 until your hand is over 21, then reverts back to a 1. The 2 is worth a 2, a 3 is worth 3, a 4 is worth 4, a 5 is worth 5, 6 is worth 6, and so on. To where 10 is worth 10, a jack is worth 10, a queen is worth 10, and a king is worth 10. Notice 30% of the cards, more or less, are 10s. So how does this work with the hand totals? So if you have a 4 plus 5, that's equal to 9. Since a jack and a queen are both worth 10, you have two of those, that's worth 20. That's a pretty good hand. A 10 plus a 6 would be 16. Unfortunately, you get a fair amount of 16s and 15s getting a blackjack, and it's not a winning hand. The next hand, one you'd love to get, 5 plus 9 plus 7 equals 21. And ace plus 5 here, remember the rule of ace. You assume it's an 11 until its value goes above a 1, or until your value of your card is equal to 20, is over 21. So ace plus 5 in this case is 16. Then the next case, 4 plus an ace plus a king. Since a 4 and a king is equal to 14, and if the ace was equal to 11, you'd be at 25, which is over. So the ace reverts to a 1. So a 4 plus an ace plus a king is worth 15. All right, let's play a hand of blackjack. All right, finally some real blackjack action. This is what a normal blackjack table will look like. This is what a shoe is. Notice we have 6 decks in there, or just about 6 decks. Here is a discard tray. I got a little few cards in there, but mostly 6 decks. This is going to be a 6-deck scenario. Move this out of the way a little bit. Put the discard tray right about where you would see it on the table. This is the places where you would place your bet. I don't have a minimum or maximum sign, but that would go basically right by the discard tray, standing right about here. The flow of the game is going to be dealer will go something like this: bets are open, bets are closed. Before he says that, you would place at least a minimum bet. And let's go with red chips are generally 15. We'll talk about the different colors and what their values normally are. But for now, remember red is 15, 3 chips each. And the dealer would then go, bets are open, close the hand, bets are closed. And we'll start dealing from the right, first base to third base. 1 card to each player. First card to him will generally be face up. Some places put it down. Then the player will get his second card. 18, the dealer will announce. 20, 4 or 14, and then the dealer will put the second card underneath. Now, the dealer has a 10. That's a possible blackjack. So he will take a peek, make sure he doesn't show his card. If he had an ace, he would flip it over. But I do not have an ace, so we get to continue. I got an 18. You will learn a basic strategy. That's a pretty good hand. I'm going to stay or not have some more cards. A 20, also a good hand. I'm going to stay, not meaning don't ask the dealer for another card. Here we have a scenario where you got a 4 or 14. No matter what card I'm given, I can't bust. So I'm going to ask for another card. That's called a hit. So you basically put your finger down like this for a hit, or I like to go like that. Dealer will show me the next card. 8 plus 3 is an 11. Plus another 11 would be 22, which would be too much. So the 11 gets forced to a 1. So now I got 8 plus 3, 11, plus 1 is 12. 12 against a 10. It's not a winning hand. Basic strategy calls the hit. And again, if you're not sure what basic strategy is, we will learn that soon. But I'm going to hit. So I'll put my finger down or a nice little pump. Fist. I got 3. I believe I had 8 plus 2 is 11, 12. 12 plus more 3 is 15. That still is not a winning hand. So I'm going to hit again. I'm probably going to bust, but 15 is not going to be the 10 most of the time. So when I did, I busted. Dealer will take those cards, put them in the discard tray, and then remove your chips, put them in his tray. Now erase what the dealer has. The dealer will have 20. So this person is a tie. This person loses, so he gets his chips. Let's pretend this was not a 10, but a 2, a 12. So the dealer doesn't have 21 yet. The dealer would then take another card and he would bust. That means he would pay the player. But we'll do more hands. But I just wanted to throw a hand in there because it's probably been pretty boring up to now, just talking. Hey, thanks for watching, and please look out or subscribe so you know when future videos will be published. The next video will cover hand terms, and we will play some more hands. BlackJack Dave. Till the next video, generate EV and hope every hand dealt your way is a blackjack.